Yo, what up? Yesterday was a fun day for video game announcements. We had a Nintendo Direct and a State of Play. Shall we walk through both of them? It was painfully obvious that the trailer Nintendo was opening with was for the new Fire Emblem. And it turns out the leaks about Fire Emblem Engage were true. Graphically, this is a huge step up from Three Houses. A lot of the stuff in this trailer just looked cleaner, like the transitions into battle and the UI. And it looks like this game is going to have more of its own identity than the leaks made it seem like it was going to have. There it made it seem like it's more of a console version of Heroes. And while we didn't get a whole lot out of this trailer, it seems like it's going to be a whole lot more than that. The only thing I didn't really like was the character models. Just something about them made them seem too Genshin Impact-y. I'm not sure, I think it might be the eyes. And this game is right around the corner too. I'm really enjoying this trend of Nintendo announcing its RPGs months before it comes out. Don't make the collector's edition exclusive to your store again. It did not work for Xenoblade 3. Speaking of Xenoblade, they showed off the second DLC pack. It kind of sucks that it's only going to be one hero per pack. Honestly, I'm just happy the arena's coming soon. Was this the first time we got gameplay for the new SpongeBob game? I remember getting the announcement trailer, but I don't remember if we got any gameplay from it. Was there even a date in this trailer? Anyways, I just find it funny that they have to say the entire voice cast is returning exclusively because their Smash clone has no voice acting. The first farming game of the night, and I think the only one I bothered taking notes for, is a remake of the GameCube Harvest Moon. I haven't played any of them, but from what I've heard, I think this might be the one where your dude can die of old age. I always found that funny because life sim games like these tend to never end. Apparently it's one of the best Harvest Moon games too, so I guess don't fuck this up. But yeah, wouldn't it be funny if this whole direct was just JRPGs and farming games? Anyways, Octopath Traveler 2 got announced. I loved the first one. The story was fine, but the combat is some of my favorite in any turn-based game ever. As much as I like the idea of these smaller stories, I hope they improve on them and make it a bit more interconnected, and I really hope they build upon the original's mechanics. They seem to be doing so with path actions that change depending on if it's day or night. A month after Fire Emblem 2? That's pretty huge. A new Theater Rhythm game was announced. I haven't played any of the games in the series, but I really enjoyed Melody and Memory, and that's the same team, so I might pick this up. I like how wide of a net the DLC tracks are casting too. This game is just going to have a dummy amount of songs. I'm already getting Mario & Rabbids Sparks of Hope at launch, so I did not pay attention to what they showed off here. All I know is that Rayman news they showed off last week is fucking bigger than whatever they were talking about here. I'm just excited he isn't dead. The lineup of N64 games coming to Nintendo Switch Online is very strong. And GoldenEye? That's fucking huge. Especially because it has online. I'm not the biggest fan of the game, but I can't ignore how impactful it is. Hey, content being added to a game that should have launched with more? That's never happened to a Switch sports game before. They're pretty solid characters to add. Battle League is so fun, but man, the lack of content fucks that game. I found the Mario Kart section really weird because they only showed off 2 tracks. I'm excited Peach's Garden is coming back. Hey, content being added to a game that should have launched with more? That's never happened to a Switch sports game before. How the fuck is golf being delayed? This delay, and Nintendo Switch Sports as a whole, is incredibly embarrassing. Especially when you remember that all of the holes are from older games. This is the part of the show where my notes get a little awkward, because I wrote this whole rant about why I don't care about this Pikmin mobile game. I wrote about how I'm alright with Pokemon going mobile because they release console games yearly, and like 7 years ago they lied about Pikmin 4 almost being done, and then they actually showed it off. Fucking finally! Pikmin 3 is so good. It is a shame it's taken this long for 4. Overall, the trailer was just a nothing burger, but the fact that that burger exists and it shows in-engine stuff is enough considering how long it's been. Hey, at least we saw more of it than we did with Metroid Prime 4's announcement. They didn't really show a whole lot for Bayonetta 3, and I guess that's because the gameplay trailer is just not in the direct. Alright. It's a weird move. It sucks that the only way to play Resident Evil 8 on Switch is via cloud. There's no way in hell that thing can run that game at like more than 4 frames a second. Honestly, I can't imagine playing any of the modern Resident Evil games on Switch. On that same note, we got the Crisis Core remaster date here too. I do not trust the Switch enough to run this game. I'll just get it on PS5. The Tales of Symphonia remaster is super exciting. It's a very good game, and I hope it coming to Switch makes more people care about Tales of. It seems like it's the only one in the series that that anyone has ever played, so I hope a lot of people play it and then go pick up a Rise. And it is so funny that it's only the first one. The Switch is becoming such a good home for Kirby games. I'm not complaining. I always wanted to play Return to Dreamland, but never got around to it. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be the third Kirby game within a year. And the last game they showed off was The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We can finally stop calling it the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. The trailer was kind of weak if you remove the title, and the most important part of it, the release date. This game is really coming up quick, eh? The logo looks like it has some Twilight influence too. Don't know if that means anything. I'm not a Zelda theory channel, don't look at me for answers. Overall, this is a very solid direct, especially if you like RPGs and farming. It had 4 games I'm very excited for, and all but one of them had a date. Just a solid B+. Good effort, guys. Metroid Prime 4 is f***ed right. It's either that, or it's fine behind the scenes like Bayonetta 3 was, and they're just not talking about it. But that wasn't the only showcase. We gotta talk about the state of play. Its 2 big announcements were in series I've never played. Tekken 8 being confirmed is nice, especially after that weird teaser from EVO. I love that teaser though. It does look very pretty, but I'm not that big of a Tekken guy, so I'm probably not going to get this. And I can say the exact same thing about God of War Ragnarok. I imagine if I cared about the series, I would have been losing my mind over this trailer. My biggest takeaway from that announcement was the limited edition controller. And here's why. Due to the swappable faceplates of the PS5, I'm guessing we're not going to be getting limited edition consoles this gen, but limited edition controllers. Unless they put something on the front of the system, it would be very easy to just remove the faceplates and unlimited edition your system. I was a little disappointed in what they showed off for PSVR 2. Like that D&D game looks super neat, but at this point I want them to really talk about the headset outside of a blog post. A lot of those games from the smaller Japanese studios look like they could be good, but they're just not down my alley. And that was just the theme of this showcase. It was a lot of good stuff that wasn't for me. Except Like a Dragon Ishin, baby, let's go! As soon as that Sega logo popped up and they said this was a game that wasn't released outside of Japan, I thought to myself, is this that Yakuza game I think it is? And then it said 1870 whatever, and I knew I was f***ing right. Dude. Whoa. I think for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dude, yes, man! Oh, fuck, I am stoked. I'm so happy this game is getting remade and localized. And it's also coming out in February. Hopefully they release it right in the middle of Fire Emblem and Octopath, so I have time to finish one before the other comes out. Now, you might be wondering why I chose to talk about this game last instead of after Tekken. That's because RGG Studios held a summit 12 hours after this state of play, and that wasn't the only Yakuza game announced. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. That just sounds like a movie title. And Like a Dragon 8. Set to release in 2023 and 2024, respectively. I am incredibly excited for all 3 of those games. Each one is going to be a day 1 pickup from me. Overall, just an amazing day of announcements for me. Going into the day, I was only expecting 1 game from each of the showcases that I'll care about, and to wake up on Wednesday to a Like a Dragon sequel, but I got 8. 7 of which are all coming out next year. For me personally, this is one of the best days for video game announcements ever. 8 day 1 pickups. That's unheard of for these type of events. And now allow me to explain just how f***ed 2023 is going to be for me. My 2016 GOTY was Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 16 is set to release in 2023. My 2017 GOTY was Breath of the Wild. Tears of the Kingdom is set to release in 2023. My 2018 GOTY was Octopath Traveler. Octopath Traveler 2 set to release in 2023. My 2019 GOTY was Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Fire Emblem Engage is set to release in 2023. My 2020 GOTY was Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is set to release in 2023. 5 years of GOTY sequels, all set to come out next year. And something I didn't realize until I finished that bit is that all of those collector's editions are behind me in my set. It's kind of hard to see Octopaths because it kind of blends in with the color of the shelf. It's even more f***ed when you factor in that my runner-up for 2020's GOTY was Yakuza Like a Dragon, and we're getting 2 of those games next year. And that Remedy is one of my favorite game developers of all time, and we're getting Alan Wake 2 next year. We can stop announcing games for 2023. I'm good, thank you. Do you agree? Think I'm an idiot? Comment down below. Dislike the video if you don't like farming, and subscribe for more bad content. Follow me on other platforms if you want. Take care, guys. My 2018 GOATY was Octopath Traveler. You can see the collector's edition right there. It's kind of hard to notice it. Oh wait, there's also those 2 collector's editions. Oh, that's so... Oh my god, there's 4 of them! 16, 17, 18, 19, 20! Oh my god, they're all behind me!